Moving from an apartment in a big city to a chateau in the countryside surely means a change of pace. We weren't entirely sure what we're going to find or how long it would take for us to get used to our new environment. Little did we know, our village packed its summer full of activities. We hit the ground running with the Fond de la Rue festival our first night at our new home, but soon after other events took place, and one right at the chateau. The Endurathlon, France's only 24-hour relay duathlon race, ran its track right through La Fête gates and through the grounds.
A squirrel. Can you say squirrel? Squirrel. Squirrel.
A couple of weeks later, farmers from all around the region gathered for the Fête de la Moisson, a bona fide festival displaying agricultural techniques from the 1800s up to the mid-20th century. With folk groups, local produce, and some amazing machines, this event shows us city people the ways of the land from around the time the chateau was built, and how community had a big role to play in this chain of production. With all this in mind, how will we use our land? Let's find out as we analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of La Fête.
Today we're going to be going over our inspection of the grounds of the chateau. So that's not even going to count the dépendance because that will have to be an entirely different video. There's a lot to go over, so let's get started. So we're gonna start off with the trees. I'd say that they have elements that are good, bad, and ugly. On the one hand, we have a lot of beautiful trees. We have this amazing walnut tree, which makes really tasty walnuts. We have amazing lime trees down in the Petit Bois, apple trees, even pear tree. On the bad side, there were more trees previously at one point that were cut down. We don't really know why. So we're gonna have to do some work planning out where to plant new trees so that hopefully in the years to come, we can sort of rebuild the forest that used to be here. The ugly side, a couple of the trees, they had some dangerous limbs that we had to take care of. We needed to trim back away from some of the outbuildings. Luckily, one of our friends who is a tree surgeon came to help us out with that. Slipknot, like the band.
Exactly. It's actually named after Slipknot. It's also called a marlin spike. Take your rope like that.
Yeah?
Twist.
Uh-huh.
And then take
Twist.
the bottom end of the rope
And pull
through
it
the
through.
hole like that, and that's not going anywhere. And then you just say on, and then I pull the rope up.
Nice. And that is why you don't want to be underneath.
Here, but I put a gob in, which is a little V that you carve out of the wood. You cut it in the direction that you want the tree to go. You then cut back in line with it. You leave a little bit of holding wood. When that holding wood's dead, it's not really holding wood at all. Wood fibers, when they're alive, lengthways, they're like incredibly strong. So it steers, that's why it's called a hinge. It steers the piece of wood like a door. And that's why you can direct things the way you want them to go.
What is it called again?
Ganoderma, which is a type of mushroom. And the fun thing about it is on the underside of it, you can write messages. Like, Rennie is
nice.
Nice guy. There we go. That's exactly what I was gonna write.
Sure, I believe you,
gosh.
1000%. All right, definitely in the bad category was the amount of weeds we've had. It's a full-time job keeping on top of them. And not only that, but you can do a lot of weeding, and if you don't have a plan of what to put there afterwards, the weeds are just gonna grow back. There's tons of weeds all along this wall. They're actually hiding our outbuilding here, which is an old toilet. And part of the reason why we needed to clear these weeds is so we could access these points of interest and assess if they need repairs. So it was really a high priority item that we get as many weeds taken out around the outbuildings and around these areas of interest, such as our puits right here, or well. As you can tell here, this is bamboo, which is quite an invasive species. So part of what we had to do was to analyze what is the root structure of the weeds, because depending on the root structure, you're gonna have to either pull them up or dig them out completely. This is a very fast-growing species, it spreads very quickly. We're gonna have to do some serious work to get rid of all this bamboo over here.
Other high-priority weeding includes taking down all the ivy that can cause damage to our stone walls, and of course, getting a handle of all these stinging nettles. Orties.
So we've started a bit of a compost area over here because this is an area of the chateau that gets a lot of sun. And it's also a very easy place for us to come with the lawnmower or with a wheelbarrow and just dump everything. We're gonna make a separate compost that's more for food scraps in the future. All right, here we are in the potager. When we moved in, it was high summer, so we didn't really have time to do any fresh plantings this year. But luckily, there was already raspberries, blackberries, this entire bed of calendula flowers. I've been spreading a lot of the ash from our fireplace into these beds and a lot of clippings. Hopefully, by the time spring rolls around, we're gonna have fresh potager ready for action. So that definitely would put us in the good category. So these are some of our ruines. You can't even really see what is back there, but when we did our first visit in February, you could see these stone walls and part of a collapsed farm building in this corner. But the weeds really grow so fast here. This is an area we haven't been able to tackle yet. Now we're gonna go to the secret garden. Oh wait, I spoke too soon. Let's check out the back door. Behind me here, you see this is our back door entrance. It's in pretty bad shape. So this goes in the ugly category. It's one of the first things that we are gonna have replaced. This was also completely covered in weeds. Also over here, this is the ruined part of the farmhouse where the roof has completely collapsed in. So we're gonna need to clear this out and figure out what to do here. We're not really sure yet, but the longer we let these blackberry brambles grow, the worse it's gonna get. This is something that is very exciting to me. This used to be an old duck pond. So that could be a really interesting project in the future to restore this to a duck pond and get some ducklings. It'd be so cute. Watch your step. Here's one of our beautiful apple trees. These apples are delicious. So it's hard to tell that I have done work here, but I have cleared a lot of weeds out of these boxwoods. They're in really bad shape. They've been attacked by the boxwood caterpillar. However, they are holding on. We're gonna try our best to rehabilitate these plants. And speaking of over here, this is the thing that scares me. Well, one of the things that scares me the most about the grounds. All around the perimeter of these areas, we have what appears to be some asbestos roofing that was used maybe on an outbuilding back in the day. It's just been left. I'll show you some more over here. So it's hard to see, but there's some of this old roofing here. So we really need to be careful and make sure that gets removed properly.
Rennie has only shown you half of our grounds. Let's take a look at the other half. Follow me. So here we have 2 hectares of old farmland. This now is just a big prairie. There's nothing going on, and we need ideas on what to do here. We're thinking of starting a botanical garden or a more French-style garden compatible with chateaus. Across the road over there, we still have 2 pieces of land, a total of 10,000 square meters maybe, that we also don't know what to do. Old farmland, unused farmland. If anyone has any idea what we can do here, just let us know in the comments. We still had one big ticket item to address. A massive dead horse chestnut tree at the edge of our main lawn. We FaceTimed Rupert to assess the size and state of the tree, but it wasn't until he arrived in person that we could properly decide whether or not we had the correct tools to take it down safely.
Once it gets to this thickness, it's like really
heavy.
Even when they look quite thin, they're heavy. You should host an event in the town, and yeah, that's a great idea actually. Okay.
Who's got a 395 XP these days?
I've got a 6.6.
6.6, say, 6.6 is all right. It needs to be sharp and it needs to be pushed on. You're better off coming through with just a simple back cut.
Just a back cut.
Just a f***ing back cut. Keep cutting.
Yeah.
Don't do it. This is ridiculously sized tree for you to not have the equipment to do it. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't be bothering with it.
You do not have to cut the thing.
You guys were like, yeah, let's do it. Then I'd be currently shitting my pants.
Yeah.
It's nearly impossible to summarize this huge undertaking, coming from 65 square meters to over 40,000. There's much work to be done, but the possibilities are endless, and we are only still scratching the surface. How are we going to work the land? Will we push towards an agricultural vocation? Will it be an ecological sanctuary, or just a parc de plaisance? These are all important questions, and we will have to find a way forward that is manageable for us.
Can we keep it? So cute. How cute and tiny it is.
No.